Welcome to AC 24/7. I'm Stephen Walker. At this hour, at least 5 people are dead and 25 more injured after a shooting erupted inside a Colorado gay club just before midnight Saturday. Police say 2 brave club patrons are heroes after they took action and stopped the shooter's violent rampage before possibly turning even more tragic. The Advocate Channel's Isabel Rosales in Colorado Springs with the latest.
Love over hate. A sign expressing that message now sits amongst a growing memorial of flowers, mementos, and notes outside of Club Q in Colorado Springs. A night of letting loose turning to tragedy late Saturday after a deadly shooting has now rocked the city's tight-knit LGBTQ community.
It was so scary. I heard shots, broken glass, bodies.
Q is a home away from home. It's a place where everyone is free to express themselves and be themselves.
It was always good energy. It was never bad energy. And it just sucks that we'll never be able to have that ever again.
President Biden responding to the attack in a statement, referencing the 2016 massacre at Pulse nightclub in Orlando, saying, quote, "While no motive in this attack is yet clear, we know that the LGBTQI+ community has been subjected to horrific hate violence in recent years. We saw it 6 years ago in Orlando when our nation suffered the deadliest attack affecting the LGBTQI+ community in American history." The FBI is now assisting local authorities who are investigating the shooting as a possible hate crime.
We're getting a clearer picture as witnesses are talked to and things like that. You'll get a much clearer picture over the next couple of days.
I think it's fair to say, based on the facts, it's very hard to conceive of a situation where the motive wasn't generated by hate.
In Colorado Springs, I'm Isabel Rosales.
Police say the suspect is 22-year-old Anderson Aldrich. He's in custody and being treated for injuries. He was carrying an AR-15 style weapon in the attack, along with handgun and additional ammunition. Investigators are still trying to determine a motive, but Aldrich will likely face first-degree murder charges. The Attorney General says hate crime charges are also very likely.
I think it's fair to say, based on the facts, it's very hard to conceive of a situation where the motive wasn't generated by hate. This was a well-known nightclub that individuals, regardless of their sexual orientation or gender identity, the LGBTQ community knew was a safe place. Was a place where people could be their authentic selves. And someone came and essentially took all that away, because we know there's so much of this hate out there, particularly towards individuals who are LGBTQ. And this is obviously something that is painful. It was on Transgender Remembrance Day when it happened. So this is a call to all of us to look at that hate and ask, what do we do about it?
Of the 25 injured at Club Q, at least 7 are in critical condition. Some were hurt trying to get away from the gunfire. It's not clear if all of them were shot. Colorado Springs Mayor John Suthers says action will be taken to make sure the massacre at Club Q is dealt with appropriately. Suthers wants investigators to look at the suspect's social media to determine a motive.
People are expressing their support. I mean, they're rallying around to make sure that these victims are very well taken care of, that we deal with the trauma that witnesses and friends and acquaintances are dealing with, and that there's financial support, and that, as I say, justice has to be served.
Michael Anderson was bartending at Club Q Saturday night when the gunfire started. He says he ducked behind the bar and glass began to spew all around him. He also saw the heroic people subdue the gunman, beating him and kicking him until police arrived. But he says there was a moment before that when he feared for his life.
There was a moment in time where I feared I was not going to make it out of that club alive. And I have never prayed so sincerely and quickly in my life as I did in that moment, as I was anticipating that outcome and afraid for that outcome.
Within seconds, Anderson's friend and bar supervisor Daniel Aston was fatally wounded. The parents of Daniel Aston told the Denver Post that their son had just moved to Colorado Springs 2 years ago to be closer to them. The club is just minutes away from their house. Anderson says Ashton wasn't just his boss, he was also his friend.
he made me want to come into work, and he made me want to, just be a part of the positive culture we were trying to create there. And he amazing person. He was a light in my life, and it's still surreal that we're even talking about him in past tense like this.
In New York, 4 attacks on an LGBTQ bar have not deterred its owners from keeping it open. The most recent incident was Saturday, when a man caught on surveillance camera tried to throw a brick through the window. The Vers bar in Hell's Kitchen has had similar attacks from vandals 4 times since October, including 3 times in the past week. Vers owners installed shatterproof glass so no one was injured, but the windows have to be replaced multiple times. The bar remains open for business, and the owners and patrons say they stand in solidarity with the victims of Club Q in Colorado Springs. New York Governor Kathy Hochul called Club Q shooting a senseless attack. She released a statement saying, "As we mourn another senseless attack on the LGBTQ community, state landmarks are lit tonight in remembrance of transgender, non-binary, and gender non-conforming New Yorkers who were lost to hate violence." The shooting rekindled memories of 2016. A shooting at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, Florida, killed 49 people. A memorial was held in Orlando over the weekend. Colorado has experienced several mass killings. This was the 6th mass killing in the United States this month. Thank you for joining us for AC 24/7. For content that advocates for you, go to advocatechannel.com, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and subscribe on YouTube. For the Advocate Channel, I'm Stephen Walker.